guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruvi and let's get into the video because I haven't filmed in a long time and I feel a bit awkward. Right now I'm feeling a bit awkward. Let's get into the video. So today I just wanted to read through this idea came to me on a random Tuesday. I was just on the toilet and I started reading through some book reviews on BookRead and Fumble. If you wanna follow me on Fumble, here's my account. And I was reading through the Boys of Torment series and then it hit me. I was like, wait, I kind of wanna do a video going through or like reading through people's reviews on my favorite book, which my favorite book of all time is A Little Life. Hold on, let me get it. Here it is. It's such a big book, and one thing about me is I don't have big book fear. That doesn't apply to me personally. When I made the decision that I wanted to get back into reading, this was the first book that I picked up, and not gonna lie, in the beginning it was kind of hard to get through. Like the way it was written, I was not used to reading in that type of written structure or something, but in the end I loved it. Yeah, I thought we could talk about that while I do my makeup. Do I have somewhere to be? No. Do I want to leave my house today? Also no. But it's been 2 weeks since I posted a video and I kind of miss filming. Before we even get into the book, let me tell you a bit about what the fuck happened with this camera, because bruh, it's crazy. So the other day there was an issue with my see, I cannot speak. There was an issue with my camera because I went to record and I noticed, oh my god, oh shit, it wouldn't turn on. Like literally nothing. I could not turn this on. Actually, I turned it on, and then when I was going through some footage that I had previously filmed, it just went all black. Like it blacked out. So I was like, fuck. Okay, I don't know what's happening because I've only had this thing for like 6 months. So I decided to take it to the store that I bought it to figure out what was happening with my camera. I did that and the guy was like, well, we don't really fix anything here, we just sell. So he gave me an address that I could go to see like what they could do for me. I went there and it was closed. And if you don't know, here in Greece, once August hits, you cannot do anything. You cannot do much, honestly, because everything shuts down. The city is dead because everybody goes on holiday and it's time to relax and, you know, chill. And I was like, shit, they're gonna be closed the whole of August. Like, what am I gonna do? I was planning to film on my phone, but like I was like, that just wouldn't work because I have zero storage. Like I cannot even open a single app without my phone going insane and being like, no storage, no storage. So I was like stressing out. I don't know, I just let it sit and let it die out of the battery because it was overheating like a motherfucker. And I opened it up today hoping that it would turn on, and it did. So literally 2 seconds ago I opened this and I was like, well, it's working, so let's get into it, you know. That's the law of what happened with my camera. I think I have yapped too much. I've updated you guys enough. I hope you stick around to the whole video and I hope we have a good laugh, because I did read one of them and I was like, oh, people are brutal. I mostly got these comments on Goodreads. I don't know if people are just a little bit nicer on Fumble, but Goodreads, bruh, these people are brutal. Okay, let's get into the first story. Some believe that this is the great gay novel. That couldn't be more wrong. There are only two recognizable gay in this work, JB and Caleb. A creative, queer, and a violent, probably psychotic, sadistic, or the other possibilities, and a pedophile, categorically not gay. That's a sickness and evil that has nothing to do with being gay. One thing is for sure. Caleb, I hated this guy so much. Like, this guy drove me insane. When I was reading his chapters, I genuinely wanted to punch a wall. Like, he was so brutal and so just what the fuck to Jude, which, bruh, unhinged. Some of them are very long, so like I won't be reading all of them. I will just cut through like the more enticing or insightful parts. Fuck this book. It started out so well. Writing is actually gorgeous. I can see why many people like this book. Really, Hanya knows how to use language. Unfortunately, the story she told was not worth it. The longer I read this book, the more dreadful it became. The worse my feelings got as I read, the more I hated it for existing. Then I read a bunch of interviews by her and hated the book even more. The long and short of it is, this book is nothing but mystery porn on purpose. Here's a Vulture interview where she talks about the inspiration for writing the book to create a book version of Ombre Cloth, which is, if you're not familiar, by the time you get to the end, is pitch black. Yeah, let's make art that will stain our souls. And they, in my opinion, I never really, I should start doing this. I don't do research about the book before reading the book. I just pick up whatever I find in the store interesting, and then from there, that's when, once I've read the book, regardless if I hate it or like it, that's when I do research about the author and the book. Probably not the best way to go about it, but most of the time when I go book shopping, it's kind of on a whim, and I just end up in the store, and then I just end up buying books. This one was really like revealing, which in my opinion, I can agree with what they were saying. So this says, nothing in life is positive. There's only human suffering. True connection is impossible. Prejudice will always find a ruin through good people. Everything is evil. The people who love you are not enough to save you, and your happiness will turn to ashes in your mouth. The end. Fuck this book. They were like, that's basically the summary of the book. The part that I agree on is prejudice will always find ways to ruin good people and so on, because in the book Jude goes through a lot. When I say a lot, I mean this man had no time to take a breather or like anything really. It was just back to back suffering from this man. And for what reason? I don't know. I couldn't tell you why the author decided to make this man suffer so much. I did also sit down and question like why the author made him suffer so much within the book. The first chunk of it basically talks about how melodramatic the author made Jude be. A lot of people were calling this book very melodramatic, very the worst when it comes to talking and doing my makeup at the same time. There's a lot more to say about this book, but I don't think I have enough or space, and I don't think I have enough time or space. Mind you, this person said this, and the person proceeded to write the longest, I'm talking the longest review of a book ever. And I was like, didn't you say you don't have time, no space? Other people have criticized more articulately the implication of the way the author treats her gay characters who exist seemingly only to suffer, while paradoxically others have praises as the great gay novel. I haven't seen anyone say this is the great. I don't know what they're talking about. She also stated in several other interviews her desire to write a character so broken couldn't be fixed, which she accomplished in her protagonist Jude. Some have called this a melodrama and seems accurate. Everything is over the top but stated in such bold and beautiful prose that it doesn't feel that way at the time. Instead, these larger than life events are made to seem trite and commonplace. Not here. I would say the way it's written is very beautiful and it's very eye-catching. It's very like, it will keep you glued to the book. It does seem very melodramatic at times when you're reading about the stuff that he goes through and how he reacts to this all this going through in his life. And it just, I wouldn't call it, I didn't feel like it was melodramatic. See, this is me defending I don't think it felt melodramatic in the moment. It definitely felt like a lot, but it didn't feel like it was overly dramatized. I felt very compassionate when I was reading it. So I don't understand people that say they felt like it was literally over the top melodramatic. What was that? Yes, the church covered this up. Do I think it's really like that entire Abbey? The whole thing for Francis, the most peaceful and loving Saxon Catholic, were not only participate in child molestation but condoned it openly? Hell no. One more ridiculous thing in this book on top of another is, if it's unlikely and causes Jude a lot of time, just put it in this book. I'm not gonna read anymore because it's very long. Honestly, I screenshotted this one solely because of the way it starts. Cause the person is very dramatic, in my opinion. So I love drama. I was wrong to think that this was going to be about friendships. It's not. Which was half of the reason I started this, and the full reason why I thought I would still love it despite the endless list of the most trigger-able concepts. I thought, in bold letters, I thought we were going to see the development of this friendship, or at least get to know why their found families is as solid as somebody was, and we never get to see that. Which is true. I mean, we do get to see his relationship between Jude and what was his name? Michael? I don't remember his name. His love. How is this my favorite book? Listen, I never remember characters. I remember the story and the plot. Which there isn't really a plot within this anyway. But I did feel like we did get to see the prolongedness and them grow together. But in my honest opinion, when they first got together, I was very confused. I was just dumbfounded because I was like, wait, she like me? I was like, there was no indication whatsoever within this book that he I was confused, basically. I didn't know what was happening because I was like, not once did he ever mention in his POV that he had somewhat of a thing for Jude. So I was like, wait, your guys' love story look-it don't make sense. Moreover, I don't think it was built well in a way that formed tension for me to feel for the characters. I really don't know why people keep emphasizing it, but I'm here to tell you that it isn't. And I was gravely disappointed when I realized what this book was really about. Some characters were used as plot points and some were used to make you feel guilty. At worst, they were added for shock factor. Before I say anything else, if you don't already know, the author herself said that she wrote Jude without doing any research. And the author is very problematic in this review. Okay, Next review. I'm angry that these books exist. I'm angry that this sad, sick, short fantasy is being treated as an award-worthy literature. That I was duped by it into an unearned emotional response. I think the biggest problem with A Little Life is that the author clearly has no interest in real lives of real people, in what it is really like to be a victim of child abuse, to be pure, to be to be disabled, in what gay men's lives and relationships are really like. So instead, she made it all up. A Little Life exists in a non-sensual parallel reality where New York City exists in a constant ahistorical state of now, with no Gulf War, no 9/11, and no humanitarian or environmental disasters, while the rest of America is stuck in the 1950s, but with the full wireless internet access. Last review. I would not recommend this book to my worst enemy. I feel slewed, manipulated, not because of the subject matter itself, but because of the violent, I don't know how to pronounce that, and melodramatic way it was handled by the author. This book is just plainly trauma porn, chapter after chapter, section after section. The main character was just getting ripped to shreds by the world around him, followed by such a tragic and horrific ending. Every tragedy written with this book was written so graphically that it was impossible not to see it clearly in your head. This book has become a baseline of who not to trust, and this book is added in the list of recommendations. Crazy thing to say. Now that we have read some of the negative reviews, bro, I am peeling so bad. It's actually ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Because why am I peeling so bad? Also, I don't understand people that review a book after they've DNF'd it. Like, what's the point of you reviewing it if you never give it the chance to even go halfway through the book? I mean, if you're 85% with through the book, I think you should be allowed to DNF and still give a review. But if you DNF the book within 5 pages, why are you giving a review? Why are you giving it 1 star? Why are you even there in the first place? Because I'm like, well, in my opinion, your opinion has no value, because like you didn't even like give the book a chance. At least reach 30 pages or something, not literally 5 pages in and you're like, I'm done, and then you still went around and gave a review. And then you said you hated the book. And I'm like, what do you hate about it? You didn't even read it. I saw a lot of those and it was pissing me off. As far as my review goes, I gave this book a 5 star. Because I didn't feel like this book was melodramatic in any type of way. Did I think that one person could go through the amount of trauma that Mr. Jude went through? No way. I don't think so. There was too much to unpack there. And also my biggest problem with the book was the ending, like especially after all that, like reading all those pages of just suffering back to back to back. I low-key wanted a good ending. I wanted this book to end in a more sweet and light-hearted way, but the way it ended, just like, oh, I lost hope within the book or within the characters by the end. Like literally I had 20 pages left and I had lost all hope, because I was like, where are we headed within this book? It was still a 5-star read for me because it was such an easy breeze. I liked the writing style. Like, I definitely would pick up one of her books again, and I felt like the characters were not just one-dimensional, but they were very like multiversed. They were not boring characters, which to me, I really don't want to read a book with like the most basic boring characters ever. I want them to have like personalities, very distinct personalities, which each one of them had. Like at some point after like reading, because within the book, when you're reading Jude's POV, they never introduce whose POV you're gonna be reading in that chapter. So at some point I knew whose POV I was reading based on their very distinct personalities within the book, which I liked, because I was like, at first I felt like I was playing the game of Monopoly, because I don't know shit about Monopoly, I can tell you that. But afterwards I felt like a pro at Monopoly, because I was like, this is Jude, I can tell by the first word, like, come on now. So I felt very well versed, or like I knew the characters. Like I felt like we had a personal relationship with the characters. You get what I mean? You get what I mean. So that's what made it a 5-star review for me. For the last month of this year, I want to pick up small books, because I want to reach my goal of reading 10 books within the year. So far I'm at 7, but like that's because the last 3 books that I've read have all been above 800 pages, which takes a long time to finish because it's 800 pages, which that is very diabolical. And for some of these books, I truly believe they don't deserve to be 800 pages long. I'm like, bro, you could have cut so many pages out of this book. But anyway, I'm finished doing my makeup and I will get back to you. Alright you guys, that is it for this video. I hope you liked watching this video, and I would love to hear your takes as well in the comment section, so make sure to comment that down below, or just comment anything that you wanna share. I hope you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video, which I think the next vlog will be just a little hangout. I miss vlogging, so I'm gonna do that, and that's all. See you in the next one. That was better. Yeah.
If you want me to, I'm always ready for your love.